Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be a Twin Flame energy check-in for the weekend. And so I know the energies the last couple of days have felt very erratic. It's been a lot of energies kind of coming in. I know there's been a lot of solar flares as well. And we've got some pretty hefty aspects playing out between Aries and Libra. And so many on the twin flame path are experiencing a cosmic redirection. It's an energy of needing to make a decision. I feel there's a lot of higher consciousness coming back online when it comes to all of these light codes kind of saturating the collective at this time, so we can achieve that state of balance. And so a lot of us are in the depths of the shadows at the moment, exploring all of these past experiences. And so the Aries Libra axis within astrology is all about relationships, the relationship with self, the relationship with others. And I feel we just had Mars enter into Sagittarius, and it is squaring it up with Saturn and Pisces. And this is just screaming disaster. I feel unrestrained rage, a lot of vengeance coming up from the karmic as well as what I'm feeling. And so I do feel there's this asserting of power when it comes to power and control issues and power and control dynamics within these karmic relationship cycles. And so these energies of vengeance and this unrestrained rage is all intense emotions kind of boiling to the surface is what I'm feeling. And a lot of these motivations are going to be ego driven at this point in time. But I feel this is where a lot of the masculines are at that pivot point when it comes to this profound twin flame journey and their healing and their growth. And I feel many of the masculines are face to face in that mirror with that deep seated core wound. And so there's a lot of fusion when it comes to these deep wounds and all of these emotions attached to the deep wounds. And so with Venus also in Libra opposing Chiron, that deep-seated wound in Aries, this is kind of highlighting how we relate to the world around us, right? Especially when it comes to our one-on-one relationships. And so I think the energy is very exposing is what it feels like. It feels like ripping the Band-Aid off. It's creating a lot of tension, especially in karmic relationships between this self-identity wound and whether you have your Chiron in Aries or not. We all have a core self-identity wound. And so who am I, right? There's a lot of people right now questioning their very existence. Who am I? Do I even have the right to be here, right? And we all have the right to be here. We all have a divine purpose this lifetime. And so I do feel with the Venus and Libra, this is sparking a desire, right? So many people just want to be liked and appreciated by others that we forget to like and appreciate ourselves. And so this is where we need to kind of come face to face in that divine mirror to face that wound head on. And so every single time we go into a relationship, and many of us go into all kinds of relationships, and we do this unconsciously. And so we're always in a battle every time we go into a relationship with who we are authentically and maybe wanting to hide or preserve our true identity. And then a lot of us, we kind of shapeshift and we adapt to other people's expectations of us just so they like us, just so they accept us. And so it's really hard to build that close emotional connection with another if we're always preserving our true identity and wearing a mask and people pleasing, right? And so it's almost like this negotiation energy playing out collectively. We do need connection. We are human beings. We came here for emotional connection. But I feel so many are afraid to fully open up their heart within a relationship because they're afraid of losing themselves or losing their authentic nature, or maybe oh, I just had a message come through and it's totally messing up my train of thought. But I feel the energy is very interesting right now collectively. And so it kind of feels like a full moon. And we are leading up to the full moon in Gemini next week on Monday. I believe it's on Monday, the 27th. I know my daughter has her 13th birthday next week on November 30th. Both of my daughters are Sagittariuses, and let me tell you, the fiery anger in the house between those two girls, it's like World War III in the house lately with two fire signs. But I feel like right now it feels like the twins are at this very maximum distance from one another. And I do feel we're going to have that face to face where we will finally be able to look each other in the eyes coming up here. And so I feel the energy is creating the perfect storm for these karmic situations to bring this into full awareness is kind of what it feels like. And so I know it feels like union and resolution feels impossible at times. And I do think this is due to a lot of projection. And that's what I was dealing with a couple of weeks ago with my ex-karmic, the father of my girls. And so a lot of the karmics want to project all of their issues onto other people. And it's like the blame game, right? And so this is where us as empaths, we can so easily take these projections and internalize them as our own flaws and faults. And so there's like a negative psychological thing that goes on with people that project onto others. And so projection takes place when people, they have all of these unconscious traits or these repressed emotions, and they project it onto other people because they don't want to face their inner shadow. They don't want to face that inner wound. And so I feel, it's a battle, right? It's a battle because Venus and Libra, we want that connection. We want that deep, loving connection with others. We want to be appreciated for who we are, what we do for people. And then there's this overwhelming fear of being rejected, right? And so this is why so many people stay stuck in these toxic cycles, because they don't want to be abandoned or rejected. And so I feel in the energy of projection, I think there's just so much being shown that is undeniable. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are realizing they're in this very undesirable situation. They're dealing with a lot of tension and opposition at this time. And I do feel they're gravitating towards the feminine. And so, but a lot of these masculines, they have to identify with that core wound first. We have to identify, right? And we have to go through the splitting apart. We have to go through the separation. We have to go through all of these conflicts to figure out where inside of us we feel unloved. And so many people out there, we unconsciously go into these relationships and we're looking for a person to fill that void within us. We're looking for a person to fill that void, to make us feel whole again. And nothing outside of us can ever fill any voids we have within. I actually seen a post on Facebook the other day, and somebody posted a meme and said, oh, I was looking for that. And it was like a bag filled of like those little styrofoam like pieces. And it said, fill the void. And I kind of just laughed because, a lot of people fill the void using other people. Or we fill the void with drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, shopping addictions. Actually, I sorted through all the girls' Christmas stuff and I thought, oh my God, I have a shopping problem. I need to stop buying. But we have to identify with that core wound first, right? Because if we don't identify with who we are and that core wound and get to a state of wholeness and completeness within, we're always going to re-identify who we are and become that people pleaser just to have connection with somebody, right? And so the Venus and Libra energy is the people pleaser energy. And so we are programmed and wired from birth pretty much to prioritize other people's feelings over our own. And so half of the collective or more doesn't even know who they truly are, let alone what the heck it is that they want, right? Because they're so busy being these people pleasers. And so a lot of us overcompensate this void by attracting in people that, don't fill the void at all whatsoever. And we attract almost like a madness when we search to fill this void. And so I feel right now, many of 929, actually, I went to visit my uncle earlier today at the nursing home at Eden Villa, and I was going to go do some chair yoga, but it got delayed till this afternoon. But so many of us don't even recognize our own identity. And so how can we become intimately connected with another if we don't truly know who we are, right? And so there's a karmic relationship dynamic, I feel, being activated when it comes to the wounding dynamic between empath and narcissist as well. And so a lot of the masculines get trapped in a toxic, abusive relationship and they don't even realize it. And so it's like a superficial relationship. But I do feel right now with Mercury in Sagittarius and Mars in Sagittarius, this is supporting the mirror energy, right? This activation of the realization of the empath narcissistic dynamics playing out in these toxic relationship cycles. And so I feel a lot of the collective, especially the masculines, are having a hard time navigating through this karmic dynamic, and they're trying to find like the light at the end of the tunnel or the silver lining in these energies. But I feel a lot has been recently brought to the masculine's awareness when it comes to these wounds and these patterns, and this is creating an opposition, right, in that toxic cycle. But I feel they're coming back online so they can now move forward and consciously engage in relationships. So I just feel like open warfare with Mercury and Sagittarius. It's in its detriment. It doesn't really like being in Sagittarius. And so I feel there's been like an illumination of all of the divine masculines' vulnerabilities and fears in the energy. And so when we play out these unconscious relationship dynamics, we keep attracting people relating to these patterns from childhood that keep us trapped in that wound, in that pain. And so there's a huge clearing going on right now when it comes to the healing path. And so I do feel a lot within the collective, a lot of the masculines and perhaps even the feminines, depending on where you're at, what energy you're working with internally, we're getting to the root cause of this wounding that keeps us stuck in this perpetual pattern of attracting narcissists and us being these people pleasers and playing out this very traumatic relationship dynamic. And so a lot of us deal with these wounds unconsciously. And so I feel right now there's a lot of attraction when it comes to people in the masculine's life triggering him. It's like the victim perpetrator dynamic playing out, like I talked about, narcissist empath relationship dynamic. And that's not saying that the masculine's with a narcissist or vice versa. We all have narcissistic tendencies when we are living our life unconsciously until we bring that into our conscious awareness. And so I feel the masculine is kind of having to deal with all of this. It's kind of piling up and building up at this point in time. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are doing a deep self-reflection, and they're really looking at their emotional needs and these emotional vulnerabilities at this time. And I do feel if you're feeling triggered, whether it's good or bad, if you're feeling triggered, understand why that trigger is coming up, because I do feel the masculine is being magnetically drawn to the feminine at this time. It's like this inexplicable, compelling feeling to go towards the feminine. And I do feel this is also a little bit of an unconscious dynamic at play, because a lot of the masculines don't understand the pull towards the feminine either. But there's like a deep-seated fear because they feel vulnerable around the divine feminine. Yet they're looking at the feminine who is super empowered, and they know they need to address all of these unresolved issues and feelings. And so I think they're trying to figure out how to approach the divine feminine, how to approach this situation with the divine feminine consciously at this time, now that a lot has come back into the masculine's awareness. And so I do feel like an invitation in the energy to explore all of these hidden depths, all of these wounded parts of ourselves. I've done the deep dive. I started my deep dive journey back in 2019, and it is so very painful to go into those wounds. And we do have to treat ourselves with kindness as we go through this purging process. But on the other side of the purge, we're going to cultivate authenticity. We're going to cultivate authentic connections with others and with ourselves. So I feel right now, pay attention to any feelings that are arising, divine feminine and divine masculine. How can you consciously piece back the relation to all of the toxic patterns from all of the insights that are kind of emerging over the coming days? Pay attention, because I feel Chiron is asking us to do the work. Chiron is the wounded healer, and I feel right now all of these oppositions are just like a prelude or a prerequisite to a much bigger energy that is coming in February of 2024, when the North Node will eventually be exact conjunct Chiron. And so this is where we're being asked to break the cycle, and we are the ones to break the generational cycles. We're here to rewrite all of this unhealthy programmed conditioning from our family lineages. And many of us are here to become the destined person we were always meant to be. So let's pull in with some cards. I did grab my past life and lessons deck because I do feel a lot of these energies are linked to past life. Father wounds, a secret father wound maybe is coming up. A lot of the masculines hold this secret love for the feminine deep inside their heart. And it's almost like they've got all of these walls protecting their heart. And I do feel a father wound. The father would be related to the divine masculine. A lot of these masculines are here to be providers and protectors for the divine feminine and that family structure. And so we are mastering gender roles as well. And so a lot of us incarnate many lifetimes in the opposite genders, time and time again. And so that is also the mirror, right? And so look at that, the father and the trailblazer when I cut the deck. So the masculine, I feel, is being asked to embrace his calling, his innovative calling. A lot of us are here to bring these new unconventional ways of being in relationships to the collective. And so I'm feeling Emperor energy. That would be the Aries energy, right? And so if you look at the Aries-Libra polarity, Libra would be representative of the feminine, and we do have Venus in Libra. And so the masculine and feminine principles, right? Because we are here to build a long, fulfilling life together. The twins, we're here to live into our old age. And so I do feel a lot of reflection right now in the energies of our skills, our abilities. I feel the masculines are being prepared to be a guide alongside the feminine, but they have to face where they've enslaved themselves in martyrdom, right? A lot of them choose to stay stuck. Freedom is a choice. We all have the choice to walk away from things unhealthy. And so I do feel the masculine is kind of at the mercy of others right now. And the challenge is healing that abandonment wound at this time. So let's get a few more cards out. And we'll see what other energies need to come through for the twins. We get the fisherman. I always laugh at that one. I remember years ago, I don't have a relationship with my father anymore. I've made peace with that. But I always was shown at the beginning of the journey, I always kept being told, you caught a big one there, right? When it comes to the divine masculine. I feel like reeling them in is the energy, reeling them in with the fisherman and the guarded. And so a lot of these masculines are so afraid to give their heart and to share themselves with others, right? And so I feel an opening of the heart is taking place. And when the masculine opens up, that will result in this reciprocal, healing, healthy relationship between the counterparts. So I feel a lot of the masculines are going through an ego death. They're facing a deep-seated abandonment wound. And with the enslaved energy, it's really feeling like the Eight of Swords. So let's get a few more messages out here. I just feel the masculine is feeling very unwanted, very alone, definitely at the mercy of others, definitely could be dealing with alcohol or drug abuses with the impaired card that recently just fell out. So a lot of these masculines have been masking their resentment and their inadequacy feelings through addictions, and they're kind of a slave to their addictions at this point in time, whatever that might be. 1919. And so I think a lot of the masculines just feel like they're a servant for the karmic, right? They've been faithfully taking care of the karmic. A lot of the masculines, I think, earn a pretty good wage. I know my counterpart earns a pretty good wage. And I feel like the karmic just makes the masculine their life. And so I do feel there's a lot of feelings being released when it comes to self-worth issues, shame acquired on the journey. A lot of these masculines have to work through feelings of shame and guilt when it comes to leaving the karmic behind, because it hurts, right? Empaths, it hurts to hurt somebody, right? It's never going to feel good to know that you're going to break somebody's heart or hurt them and walk away from them. But I feel there's been a lot of shame acquired from many past lives on the journey. And so I feel like the masculine has to own all of that. And nobody's perfect, right? Nobody is perfect. So I feel there's a lot of resentment too, because they can see the wrongdoing that they've done to the feminine, and they're working on forgiving themselves. And so I do feel with the large family, along with the protection, the twins are protected. A lot of the families are here to blend families. We're here to have like a blended immediate family that will lead into a blended extended family. I know for myself, I've got 2 daughters, and my counterpart has 2 sons and a daughter. So it'd be like 7th heaven, the 7 of us. And so I do feel, though, fear is keeping the masculine in a state of being a victim. And I do feel he's likely been a victim of abuse or crime due to the karmic. And so he's working through self-worth issues, codependency issues. A lot of these masculines are over-reliant on other people to give them a sense of happiness and well-being as well. And so I do feel a major life lesson in self-worth, especially with the Aries Libra axis is playing out at this point in time. And we can never be dependent on another for our happiness or our well-being. We have to become self-reliant. We have to hold the key, because we have to have a healthy self-esteem to not keep recreating all of these cycles of codependencies. And so I feel a lot of starseed activations, a lot of activations when it comes to our galactic origins are playing out right now. And we are here to live the fullest human experience that we can. And so a lot of the twins have a much higher purpose than other people on the spiritual journey. And we have a huge purpose when it comes to being a light, a healing light for humanity. And so I do feel like the masculine's licking those wounds right now. He's definitely not feeling well. I think he's feeling the call of the feminine. I feel wherever the masculine's been at, it's really had a lot of devastating, ravaging effects on him. It's almost like a war zone for the masculine. And so we're learning to transcend these negative experiences, these negative wounds. And a lot of them shape us. It gives us our core strength. But they should never keep redefining us and limiting us on the journey. And so I do feel overcoming a sense of lack. Then we get the Lover's card with the arranged marriage. And so the masculine is involved in a karmic relationship where he is hiding the love that he has for the feminine on his heart. He's guarding it. I do feel there's a sense of double loyalty, because bottom line is the masculine has on his heart always remained loyal to this connection with the silver thread that connects us. There is no separation. And so I do feel we are on the precipice of a lot of waves of unions coming in. But the masculine needs to release that contract, because I feel a lot of them stay there out of almost like an obligation energy. So let's dig in with some tarot. I picked the Light Seers deck. Look at that. 9 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And so that's that wounded healer. King of Pentacles below that. 7 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, reverse King of Wands. So there's a lot of anger. There's that sacred rage, anger, vengeance. And so a lot of the masculines are definitely struggling with self-worth. I think they might be very greedy with their time and their money. I do feel like materialism and greed. The 7 of Swords reversed is like a secret coming out. This could be a confession. I just feel lies, manipulations exposed. And then with the 8 of Pentacles reversed, this could mean a job loss due to a release of anger. I just feel like the masculine is feeling like the wind is getting kicked out of him, like the rug just got pulled out from under him unexpectedly. Ooh, we get the Queen of Wands. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands. What does this Queen of Wands have to say? So I feel this Queen of Wands is feeling very zened out. Let's clarify this deeper. Okay, we get the Queen of Wands with the Two of Pentacles. So remember, we had the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck in reversed. And so there is some type of separation. I do feel this Queen of Wands, there's some type of realignment. And then we get the bottom of the deck, the Fool with the Lovers and the Three of Swords. So I usually connect the Queen of Wands to the karmic feminine. I just feel there is without a doubt a realignment. The karmic could be juggling two people as well and making an unexpected choice in love. But I feel there is like a free falling energy coming through with the Fool. That would be Aries. The Queen of Wands feels like a Sagittarius energy coming through. And I feel with the Lovers, we are coming up on that full moon in Gemini with the Lovers. And so there is going to be an unexpected choice in love. I feel the karmic is going to be experiencing the heartbreak and the pain that the feminine did. I remember this energy very, very deeply, of being on my knees and my whole world shattered and dark and broken from the separation. And so there is an ending here when it comes to that karmic contract. I do feel a lot of the karmics are seeking revenge. They're free falling. It's like they're like, haha, gotcha, I got the power. But I do feel a lot of these energies playing out are going to be fated and destined. And it does appear that the masculine is choosing to boss up at this time with the Emperor. I'm going to put a couple of those back, and we're going to get another message to see if there's any other energies that need to come through with the tarot. Oh, there's that Seven of Swords. So let's go deeper into that. I just feel this Seven of Swords is looking like illumination. He's got like a pocket knife in his hand. And then the Three of Cups just came out. Okay, with the Seven of Wands and the Justice. So there's the Libra energy, right? And there's the mirroring energy. I feel karmic justice is playing out. I do feel like there's the energy of night and day, right? The feminine, it represents the light, and the karmic represents the shadow. And so I feel there's going to be some type of an exposure when it comes to some third-party interference. There could be 3 women ganging up on the masculine right now that he's choosing to turn his back to. And I do feel this feels like the divine feminine. I feel you are protected. You are in a very protective bubble at this time. You definitely are receiving downloads. I've had so much third eye pressure and headaches for like the last week. You can see the flame right on the third eye. And so the 7 to the ace is an 8 of wands. And so I just feel like you just need to hold that space. You need to protect your energy. Envision a golden white bubble of light protecting you, around you. Contain your energy, please, divine feminine. Really pull it into the solar. Pull all of your energy into the solar plexus. Because I do feel communication is coming, and you feel this coming, and we are on the precipice of alchemizing these unions, right? The twins are like the epitome of an earth angel. And so I do feel we are tempering and balancing the separation energy is what it feels like. So let's clarify justice. The Empress reversed. Is there another card there? There we go. 9 of Wands and the Devil. And so that's where the masculine's been at. He's been with the false counterpart, the Empress reversed. There's a lack of fertility. There's definitely addictions there. A lot of these karmics are so very needy and codependent. They're like, the masculine is like a puppet on the Empress in reverse's string. It's like they're drowning. They're drowning. They don't know how to ask for help. And I do feel there's that conscious awareness of the wound. So they're looking the wound straight in the face, right? And the Devil is representative of Cancer energy. We have Taurus energy. But I feel there's a lack of fertility. I just feel the masculine can no longer take being the karmic's puppet anymore. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck, guys. 8 of Pentacles reversed. No longer investing in this. I feel the masculine is making a decision to walk away. I do feel he no longer wants to fight. That connection is definitely over. There's the wind getting knocked out of him, and I feel the masculine is boiling inside with vengeance and rage, and that is going to trigger some fast forward movement. I feel the masculine is coming in fast, maybe even on a motorcycle, although I don't know anybody riding around in a motorcycle where I'm at, because it's like -3 out there today. But I feel he's rushing in. He wants to heal the abandonment wound with the feminine. I feel the feminine is kind of like holding back right now because of the past manipulative behavior where there was a lack of victory. But I feel the masculine is coming back around. He's coming back from walking away from this connection for sure. Yeah, he's all done. He's all done going within when it comes to self-reflection. He's ready to come out of hiding and shine that light. Get ready for an apology. And I know I've said many times over, I'm never going to get an apology when pigs fly. And if you look, it looks like there's a little piggy flying on the card. But I feel the masculine hears the call of the feminine. And I do feel he's trying to manifest you, divine feminine. If you look here too, it's like two people forever connected. And so I feel the masculine's in some type of an ascension spiral. They're definitely sitting in some very dark, heavy energy. But I feel this has been long overdue when it comes to these unions. And so I do feel there is going to be a brand new beginning in love here. But first and foremost, it starts with self-love, right? Divine feminine, we have to love ourselves wholly and fully for that twin flame union. And I do feel there is a karmic rebalancing taking place. This is the lower octave of the Justice card. And so get ready to receive divine feminine. We are going into much happier times. You got to keep shining that light, because I do feel you're shining the light on the confusion. There's no more confusion. So let's close off the message with a couple of twin flame oracle messages from my handmade deck. Let's see what else needs to come through for the twins for the weekend. Check-in lessons. You are learning lessons. So I feel a lot of the feminines are helping the masculine transmute the energies, and a lot of this is collective. So do not attach to the emotions, the energies. If you know they are not yours, go into meditation. Allow the energies and emotions to pass through your physical vessel without attachment. I do feel there's a lot of astral travel, a lot of higher conscious travel, and this is definitely to get to the root cause of the unresolved wound connected to the mother and father. And so we are resolving all of these unhealthy issues from our parents. And so that is likely surfacing for a lot of the masculines right now, the unresolved issues with the mother and father wound. And so we're still in a major gateway, right? So there's a major shift coming. And what you need to do, divine feminine, is really trust in your intuition. I know the signs and the syncs have just been like nonstop. I feel we're in a massive timeline shift. And as we go through this timeline shift, many of us are super highly charged in the energies. We're super highly sensitive to the energies. Even my dog has been acting weird. Like she's been walking around the house just whimpering and whining for days. I don't know what is up with Bailey, but I feel we are in the process of healing these deep-seated wounds, and the masculines are in the process of a deep metamorphosis and transformation as we go through this twin flame soul merge. So get ready for Heros Gamos union. Get ready to face the wound right in the eyes. Get ready for that face-to-face. So fear, conflict, all of these are kind of stirring up tension in these connections. But we do need to remember there is eternal love between us. And that's what I got today, guys. I really hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, I encourage you to check that description box below, guys. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.